yeah, it was a huge win. It was a huge win for students in their personal growth. It was a huge win from an educator point of view in terms of what the students got out of it, what they learned about it, what they learned about themselves, and the reflection in the class that growth occurs outside of the comfort zone. What's really cool about this is there's insight, there are deeply personal insights that a student can extract from going through the exercises that you do. So what happened was the students heard you talk, then they had an assignment to do, which is basically go out one step out of a comfort zone. And prior to doing that activity, the students would write a paper in terms of, setting expectations, then the student did the activity of the student's choosing, obviously, because it's so personalized, and the way you queued it up was to have it, deeply personal. And then after the activity, the student would reflect on it, write a paper again. What did I do? How did I feel? What might I learn on this? How could I apply this into my broader studies, my broader career, my broader life? Then they talk to one another in small pod groups about their experiences and about what they learned. And then a discussion ensued in terms of what's it like to be outside the comfort zone versus inside the comfort zone? Where do the growth opportunities lie? And students really embraced this, and they took it seriously. A lot of them, here's what was really cool about this. I think there are two main things that came out of it. One of them is students that said, this is outside of my zone, but I want to go back and do it again. And I think that's a big sign of a big win of the assignment and the way that you set this up and through your 2 Steps Out program. So that's one thing. A second thing is, and this was a thread that was very clear throughout the students, was that there was a heavy social component to this. So a lot of the activities were about, better understanding themselves, but how they relate interpersonally to others. And that's another area where I thought there was a lot of kind of honey in the learning on that. Some of them went into, to help city missions or to help the poor and distribute food, which is, intimidating to some of the students. So you kind of to do something positive. Other ones, I know they read books to challenge a viewpoint or went to attend a service of something of a different faith. Some went, were terrified of skating and decided to go skate because you're going to fall, and there's a social component to that, right? So going out there and trying something and then actually embracing it and saying, hey, I really like this activity. How cool is that? I want to do it again. Some could skate, but wanted to try figure skating for the first time, and tried to swirl and twirl. Some of them tried the gym for the first time. I'm afraid to be judged, and here they went into the gym. Or the other one that she said was, what one was the other one she said?
The snakes.
Oh, the snakes.
My favorite one.
Yeah, to hold snakes for the first time because of a snake phobia, and 2 students did that one together. So, these are all different, but again, so personalized, and overcoming fear and what's the uncertainty, and then going on the other side and reflecting back and saying, hey, this was pretty darn cool, and I learned in the process and personally grew. And that's the magic behind your 2 Steps Out program.
And what's really cool is that they chose all of these experiences. Nobody told them what to do.
Yes. So that's it. So
that's what we call agency. They had the choice. They chose. They in French we say s'approprier. They made it their own, and then they went and did it.
And that's what's so good. So you can
empowering.
And you communicate that so much better than I do, because I said it's very personal, but what you're talking about is exactly it, where they take the initiative They own it, and the agency behind it. Yeah,
It
exactly.
all comes from within. And when you do something difficult because you choose to do it, that's when magic happens.
Yeah.
And if you can choose to do other things, and then you feel like you're driving your own life.
The idea here of what your program does is it helps people understand themselves more and their fears more, and it helps to overcome those fears. It helps that personal growth, but it also, more importantly, helps in relating to one another. And that's so big. That's what the world needs more of. It helps with empathy. It helps with understanding. It helps to cross those chasms. And it's a hell of a lot of fun. Quite frankly, it's fun. You know,
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, because it's disciplined, it's intentional, and it's improvement. Yeah.
It's structured, but at the same time, it gives you so much freedom.
Yeah.
It gets you to find that internal freedom.
It's freeing when you develop an understanding of other people. There's certain things that develop a human being. One of them is travel. It opens the mind, and you realize how wonderful, really wonderful peoples are, cultures are, the activities they do. But the thing is, it's so expensive to go travel, and you can't constantly do that. So what is the best thing? You go into your world next door, because there's a whole world out in the world, but there's a whole world in your neighborhood.
It's like micro travel.
That's exactly what it is.
You traveled into another world that's like, half an hour away from here.
And you should be coming out of the conclusion, almost all the times, how wonderful the world is, how wonderful people are. Even people that you wouldn't expect to be wonderful, they're wonderful. That's very powerful in terms of I'm going to say, the recipe that the 2 Steps Out program set up. So yeah, it was a huge win right across the board.